Nigerian film industry, also known as Nollywood, is the second largest, turning out over 2,500 movies yearly. This amount tops Hollywood and is only surpassed by Bollywood. So this morning we'll be discussing the potentials in Nigerian movie industry, Nollywood. And we have celebrity couple right here in the studio. Popular faces as far as Nollywood or entertainment industry is concerned in Nigeria. We have Mr. LATEEF ADEDIMEJI and Mrs. ADEBIMPE OYEBADE. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for coming.
All right.
Charity.
We want to welcome you once again to the studio, and I know that LATEEF ADEDIMEJI and Oyebade ADEDIMEJI they are Nigerian actors, filmmakers, and producers. So they are in a good position to tell us what we want to know about the potentials that we have in movie industry, and we'll be focusing on the Nigerian before we move outside Nigeria. So let's start from the key factors that you think should drive Nollywood in Nigeria. What are the key factors? You have been in the industry for a while now, and you must have seen, you must have mixed with the old, those that are almost immediate before you, and those who are your contemporaries. What are the things that you think are the factors that should drive this industry in Nigeria?
Basically, for sure I know that we are not where we used to be. There is that huge development, and there is that huge, high development right now. Unlike before, what the movie industry used to be before isn't what it is now. There is the progress, there is the update like that. Before now, people don't spend so much on movies because they are always scared of what will be the return. How do we put this amount of money into a film and get it back? But now we have come to the realization that the more you put into the film, the more the scale, the more the potential of the film, So financial capacity is very important when it comes to filmmaking, and then every other thing will now follow, because for you to do a production design, costuming, set, and all of that, it takes a lot of money. So you must have that money to be able to get the exact thing that you want. That way, when people see the scale of the film, the picture quality, the sound, all of these things will amount to the fact that, okay, when you take it to any streaming platform or even to the cinema, you have a lot of people coming to watch, and then you'll be able to get a return. Okay,
you only focus on the financial aspect of it. I hope ADEBIMPE will be able to tell us other factors that are essential in making a movie worthwhile in Nigeria. If you want to watch, aside the money that you have put into it, that you want to make return from it, what else do you want to put into it that will bring out a good return?
It's money.
Money.
Yeah. Okay. Because to make a good movie, you need money. You need money to, do everything. Costumes, locations, sets. It depends on the kind of movie. And we also need government support. We also need government support in Nollywood and entertainment generally in Nigeria.
You know that you can have stories. We know that all of these things, they all have steps. First, you need to build up your story. Okay, this is the kind of story I want to tell. And then you write out the script. And then you know that, okay, this is the number of cars, this is where the story goes. Then it all still goes back to money. For you to be able to finance it. Even from script writing, at this time we have people who collect over 2 million, 3 million to write a script.
Just a script?
Yes, just for you to tell them the story and they put it into a script. So everything from the very start involves money. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mr. LATEEF, we've seen a rise in recent times in epic movies.
Right.
Anikulapo, Orisha, Ageshinkoli, and also there's a new production coming up.
Yes.
That's Lishabi.
Right.
So I would like to know why the sudden rise in epic movies.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think it's a sudden rise. What I feel is that we've been sleeping.
Okay.
And then we just realized the fact that what is our own is our own. For some time we left what is ours to pursue what is not ours. And then it's just dawned on us that what is happening to all of our stories? What happens to our heroes? If we can, appreciate the foreign heroes, then what happens to our own?
The living ones.
The living ones, and those that are even gone, that a lot of young generation doesn't even know their story. So let's go back to the roots. Let's start telling our own stories for us and even for the outside world to see how much we have when it comes to culture, how much we have when it comes to morals and all of that. And that's why people are just turning into that line of action. And for me, I'm so keen about our culture, I'm so keen about our tradition, and I feel it is high time people see what we have. And that's when after I did Anyela, we thought of it that, okay, let's start doing stories, let's start doing biopic stories of our heroes in Nigeria. Those that are still living, those that are gone. Let people see them, let people see their contribution to life, let people see their contribution to humanity. And that's why we thought of doing Lishabi as well. That is coming. Lishabi is Egba. I don't even know who he was too. I thought he's one Orisha until I dig into the story and I realized this is a human being that fought for the freedom of Egba people. Now, a lot of this generation don't know. They just know that they say Egba Omo Lishabi. Who is this Lishabi? That's why we tell the story, and then for the world to see how much we have. Okay, well,
Mr. ADEDIMEJI, you did talk about government support. In terms of what? Is it in terms of maybe loan facility to filmmakers or infrastructure development? Because you also need fine locations to do your movies.
Yes, everything. Funding, in terms of security, infrastructures, like you said, we need support generally. Of course.
Okay, I will go back to the epic movies that we are seeing recently, and those epic movies that I have seen are somewhat very, very capital intensive. Aside the financial aspect, how do you research your stories? We know that there are some stories that are not entirely the truth. How do you ensure that the ones you are passing to the public, when you watch a movie, you want to believe everything that your actor or actress is saying about that movie. Right. So how do you research to get the correct storyline so that you give out the distorted one out there?
Yeah, because for you as a filmmaker, you must know that what you're going to pour out to people is what people would be attached to. There is a strong believability when they see it, and they are not going to question anybody. They feel that I saw it in a film, and that must be the right story. So it's a duty of you as a filmmaker to make sure that whatever you're going to bring out is nothing but the very truth. And we did that on Lishabi, because before we started the story of Lishabi, we had to come back home. We came to Ogun State, we went to the Palace of Alake, we met all of the people, and then they told us the story beat by beat, beat by beat, beat by beat. This is what happened at this time, this is what happened at this time, this is what led to this, this is what led to this. And then we now went back to our own conference room and then build up the stories. There is the creative license for a filmmaker to add 1 or 2 or 3 to the story to make it dramatic, so that it doesn't just go like that. But we mustn't leave the morals and the real story, the backing of the story must not be taken out. But we can add, okay, if we had this story, it will make the story even tighter and people will learn more from it. But we are not going away from the fact that this is the exact thing that happened.
Okay, all right.
So, Mr. Lateef, I mean, how lucrative is filmmaking right now? I could recall while growing up, there were video clubs everywhere. We pay 50 naira, 100 naira, to borrow movies. But now I think technology has really dispersed that. Right. Either you have your movies on YouTube or cinema, and now we have Netflix too. These are platforms where you could stream your movies. Right. So, and just like my colleague said, that it is capital intensive, particularly for epic movies, because you have to go to a film village to film. So how lucrative is this?
It is very lucrative, but it takes a lot of work to be able to get there. Some people will break down in the middle of the road, and some might be lucky to be able to finish it, because you don't even know what to expect. If you have a budget of maybe 200 million to do a movie, you can get on set and then you see that you will exceed your budget of 200 million linking to 300 million. But you started already and you mustn't stop, because if you break, it will take you back to the very beginning, renting equipment and all of that. So there is always the possibility of you having a back-end. But eventually, when you get to finish it and then you see what you have, it is lucrative. I can't say that there's so much in it. We are not tapping into the entertainment industry yet in Nigeria, especially filmmaking. If we tap into it well, that's enough to sit us well and then get a whole lot of things. The government should bring in a lot of things when it comes to Film Village and all of that. Actors are now the one who trying to own Film Village themselves, all because they want to pour out what is good. So that's where we need a lot of government support to come in, and then we have other countries where they have government support for their film, and then we see how they move and how things move for them. So when we have that in Nigeria, we are on our way to competing with even Hollywood.
Talking about the government support, let's break it down, because when we say government support, there are policies already that is governing the film industry or entertainment industry in Nigeria, and there are things that you must, the process that you must follow if you want to do some films and then register some things. So let's break it down. What policy are not favorable? Which of them are good? Which of them should the government focus on, and which of them should they discard? Mrs. ADEDIMEJI.
For me, I don't know.
Okay.
The reason is I have not heard about all these policies that you mentioned. Maybe I'll do my 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Lateef will help us out. What do you think the government should do focusing on the industry now? What area do you want them to grow the industry so that it could bring out the potential that we are talking about and bring in more money, more income for the people of population?
I think basically we've heard that there are fundings and all of that, but how many people have access to this fund? How much information is out for people to see that, okay, if I take this step, I will get a fund to access and then do my film and all of that. I think there must be more publicity about this funding that the government is giving out, and then people can be able to access it. Once people are able to access it, you can give them as much rules as possible to say, okay, for you to access this, you must have this, and you must be able to provide this and that. A lot of filmmakers are going to be willing to do that, because there are stories that a lot have in their hands, but where is the fund to access for me to be able to bring out the story for people, you know?
So, but I mean, still talking about lucrativeness, because even if you're getting a loan, you have to pay back. It depends on the interest rate. So I need to be cumbersome going to banks to get loan at double-digit interest rates. But even if government will give you a loan, they have to pay back maybe at a 15% interest rate, 10% interest rate. So is it also viable, you know, for filmmakers? We've seen people incur losses, you know, just in marketability, you know, of their movies.
Yeah, it is. It is still lucrative. You can be able to get loan and be able to pay back, as long as you have a good film, well shot, well put together, and all of that. The streaming platforms are willing to tap into what we have, and they're willing to pay for what we have.
But what about the dangers? You know, before we say piracy, you know, that's for hard copies. But these days, you also have cinema dub, you know, out there. Your movie could be on Netflix, but it's also on other sites, and
that's where we
from other alternative platforms. So you need government for what? It's no longer piracy now, but it's more of a technological piracy. So
to be able to regulate all of these things, what are the necessary punishments for these people? And then how are we able to track these people down? If we have things in place that when you know that you do this, the government can look for a way to track you down, and when they track you down, you face the law. But we rarely have all of those things. You can even put a movie on your own YouTube channel, and another YouTube channel will pick it up. You know, and then nothing will happen. So all of these things is what we need. You know, a movie will be on Netflix, and then you'll see people on Telegram showing that same kind of movie. We should have a law in place. We should have government people in place that can track all of these people once a report is made, and they can track down all of these people and be able to make them face the law.
Okay, as filmmakers, what is your own effort on that? Government cannot be everywhere.
Yeah, we try as much as possible to follow up all of these people, but where is the database to even get them pinned down, you know, and then say, okay, you face the law. This is your address, we'll track you down. All of these things is not there, and then we need all of these things to be able to survive it well. You know.
Yeah, since talking about epic movies, you know, there are certain risks, you know, involved. I could record there are reports that in the shooting of Jagun Jagun, you sustained, you know, certain injury because to shoot the epic movies, you have to get stuntsmen, you have to do some stunts, and which could, you know, open you to certain risks. So in terms of insurance, you know, in terms of welfare, you know, for thespians, you know, where are we?
Yeah, we are not there yet. When it comes to that, we are not there yet. We pray that we are able to get to that point. We are not at that point yet. You know, insurance for an actor coming on set, and insurance when you sustain an injury, and all of those things are not in place yet. But we hope that we will get there. Yeah, there are always medical team on set that if anything happens, they will quickly attend to you and then give you the first aid and all of those things that you need. But insurance is needed actually. So for us to be able to stand well, so that you don't do just one film, sustain an injury, and you're not able to continue and all of that. So for me, the stakeholders in the movie industry will have to look into this. Because majorly individual actors are trying to do that on their own, but you know, like a body must be able to see into these things and see that actors always have insurance and all of that, so that when they sustain injury, you attend to them so well. Even after they leave the set, you do a follow-up to make sure that they are in good shape, just like footballers will, you know, sustain an injury and then they give them that.
Perhaps if you let me into, you know, your experience and the process of adaptation. I mean, going from outdoor, you know, shooting now to, you know, shooting in a very traditional, you know, setting, including the injuries said you sustained. So how were you able to adapt? You saw you do certain stunts.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You know, for an actor. Once you're given a script, your duty is to deliver, no matter how tough. The show must go on, no matter how tough. You know, so for Jagun Jagun, there was a whole lot. I trained in the UK because I had to build my body for that one. So I know that I can't survive that while in Nigeria. So I traveled to train and build up my body, and then coming back, I still had to train for like 15 days, stunts and all of that. Lucky enough, I didn't sustain no injury all the while, even during the training. But my injury was on the first day of shoot, the first action. How that happens, I don't even know. Action, and then the leg is off. So that's something you're putting a whole lot into. To break that production at that time, everybody will run at a loss. Even the producer will run at a loss. So what is left for me to do? Gather the pains and make sure that I was still able to deliver. So all through that shoot, I had stick on my legs with bandage, and then I had to manage. Still jump, still do all of that. That's the work of you as an actor. So once I'm done in the evening, the medics will come to attend to me, tie the leg back with blocks and all of that, and then prep me again for the next day. Like that, till I was able to finish. And after I finished, I just traveled to treat myself well, so that the leg won't go. I still need it.
Okay, Adebimpe, let's talk about the influence of other Nigerian movie tap into other countries in leveraging on what we have already and moving it upward.
For Bollywood, I would say what they have is the scale. The scale of their movies is always so large. They are not scared to invest, to put in the money. And when their film comes out, you will know that when you watch a Bollywood film, you will know money has been spent to achieve it. So that's one thing I feel like Nollywood can tap from Bollywood. We need to spend the money, put the money. We need more investors, obviously, so for Nollywood, and then we need to like trust that when we spend the money, we'll get the returns.
Assurance.
Yes. And I think that's what we are doing. Some people are already doing it. At least we are watching very big movies on Netflix now, Nollywood films on Netflix and other platforms, and it's such a good thing. So for Hollywood too, I would say that I think it's the same thing. It's just the budget. Yes, we need to up the game, and we're already doing that.
It's just basically the budget, and then now we would only shoot a film for 5 days, 7 days, and 2 weeks max. But if you need to do like upscale job now, you're spending 40 days. You're spending 50 days to shoot and all of that. You know, we spend,
movie.
Yeah, we spent 45 days to shoot Lishabi. You know, now we are getting to that point of using 2 months to shoot just a film. That is to tell you that in a day you can just have to shoot just one scene because of the capability of what the scene entails, and then you have to pay attention to the details. So we are taking our time, just like they will always take their time to shoot a scene, shoot 1 or 2 scenes and all of that. 2 scenes in a day, 3 scenes in a day, so that you know that at the end of it all, you have something great to present to the world.
So how do we overcome repetition? Repetition, I mean, you see your face in this movie, and the next movie we see your face again. And when we want to interpret those 2 movies, you say that those line of stories are almost the same, and you are acting it the same way. So how do you overcome stereotype and repetition of some traits in an actor that is in different movies?
That's the job of an actor. That's the job of an actor, because people would always call you for films. People would always invite you to come and play a particular role or play a particular role. So it is your own job to read the script. If you see that it has a similarity with what you have done before, you have the right to turn it down. Or you still have the right to speak to whoever wrote the story. If there is if there is a role they are giving you that looks like a role that you have played before, you have the right to turn it down or seek for another role. So that will give you the versatility that you as an actor want to explore. For me, if I've seen that I've played a role before, and then this is the trend, and I feel you bring another film to me playing that same kind of role, I can turn it down or look for another character for me to play, so that I can be able to show what I have as an actor. So it's the job of the actor.
Okay, I asked that question because some movies, from the very first scene, you will be able to predict the outcome of it. So how do you ensure that, as a producer that you are, you ensure that these movies, the suspense from the beginning will go there till the last scene? Because in Hollywood, Bollywood, the suspense are always there. And you want to, but for Nollywood, in some sense, I'm not saying everything, some movies you could predict from the first scene. So how do you overcome this prediction and ensure that this suspense goes all through and you enjoy the movie?
I just feel like the story is the story, not the actor. So as a producer, if you want to produce a movie, what I do personally is that I come up with my story, and once I see that there's any similarity with this story, and you know, we give stories to script writers, and all the script writers, they write for like a lot of people. So sometimes their imagination can be similar to what they have done, they have written for someone else before. So what I do is, when I give script writers my story and they write it out, and I read the scripts and I see any similarity with, you know, that I've seen or heard before, I try and change some things on set while shooting or even before shooting. That's for my YouTube stories, obviously.
Okay. Oh, you may continue. Sorry to interject.
But for big screen films, you have to do a lot of research, because whatever you want to take to the big screen has to be something authentic, something really nice. So you have to do a lot of work to get a story we basically do biopics for now. Of course, we are still going to, you know, venture into other. So, but for now, our film Lishabi, like you said, we came to Abeokuta when we wanted to write the script. We aired the story from the source. Yes, and then we added our own, you know,
creativity and all that stuff.
Well, Lateef, we've seen many epic movies. Now we're talking about Lishabi. Now you are busy marketing your movie right now. So what makes Lishabi different from other epic movies like Anikulapo, Jagun Jagun, Orisha, and the likes?
Lishabi is different because Lishabi is epic, is biopic, is a story that happened. You know, the rest are fiction. Jagun Jagun is a fictional story. Orisha is a fictional story, you know, but this Lishabi is a biopic. It happened. It was something that really happened. It wasn't an imagination. It's something that happened. So that sets it apart.
It's a true life story.
It's a true life story of someone. So that sets it apart from others. And then I was a part of Jagun Jagun. I'm part of Anikulapo, you know, and all of that. So I've seen, I know, and then I wouldn't want like a repetition of what I've been into before or what I've seen into to repeat itself in this one. So we put in a lot to make sure that it's different from what we have seen before. And then when you see it, I'm sure you will be able to tell that there's a difference in what we have been able to do to bring that to the people when it comes to even the set, the story itself, the scale, the costume, and everything. Because we need to just keep upgrading. Jagun Jagun is amazing, Anikulapo is amazing, but we mustn't stop at that. The next thing we will have to do has to be better. After Lishabi, somebody else is coming with another epic, it has to be better than Lishabi. That way we keep going, and then we'll be able to compete with
But what were the challenges you faced, you know, in shooting a movie like Lishabi?
Lishabi is there was a lot of challenges because it's over 4,000 cast. You know, having to camp all of them, feed all of them.
And it was shot here?
No, it was shot in a film village in Oyo.
Okay.
We built all of the set. We do not have a film village in Abeokuta. We just started one, which is ours, and it's on this road down Nudu. And because we're trying to bring it back home now, have our own film village in Abeokuta, so that we can. This is the home of a lot, so let's bring it home and do a whole lot of things. So it was shot in Oyo, and then, you know, having to first camp over 500 people to train as stunt people and all of that, train them for like 12 days, feed them, put them in hotels, is huge. And then having to shoot for like another 30 days to 35 days, still feeding every single boy. It was a lot, and then, you know, having to manage everybody, the crew, feed them morning, afternoon, night, make sure that everybody is all right, make sure that they do their job, equipment. It was a lot.
Do filmmakers have other source of income?
You have to try to have other source of income if you don't want to quench on the road.
You know, as an actor, we are
actors, we are filmmakers. We also have our own studio. We also have our own fashion house. We make clothes and all of that. We are farmers, you know, at the same time, and then trying to do real estate and all of that. We cannot just stay in one place. So that you'll be able to get funds from different places to be able to fund this movie thing, and then eventually get the returns to spread around.
Okay. Now let's talk about the production quality. Is one thing that people will see. From what you see, you'll be able to determine if this movie is good or not.
Right.
So the production quality, how can you make sure that the technology we have out there outside Nigeria is brought back home, so that the quality can be bam, so that we can see it and say, yes, let me glue to this very clear picture, very fine faces that I'm seeing. So how do you determine production quality and take it through all the movie story?
Yeah, it's very easy. You know that for you to shoot a film, you would know that you have to get the best camera. They are quite expensive, but you have to get it. Like what we used to shoot Lishabi was about 400,000 per day, and we had to use 2. So, you know, that's 800 times the number of days that you used to shoot. You have to use something that you know that when you use it and then you see the picture quality yourself, even while shooting, you will see the quality yourself. Because after the shoot of a day, you have your editor and then you go through what you have shot during the day. You can see it and then you can tell that, okay, this is it. So it all boils down to the fact that you have to have funds already made to get the best of equipment that will give you that quality that you're looking for. So everything starts from your planning stage of, okay, I want to use a red camera, I want to use ARRI, I want to use Sony. All of those cameras has their own picture, you know, and then you go for what is best for you to be able to get your best quality.
Okay, Adebimpe, you wanted to say something?
No, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but as it stands, you know, you're talking about funding the other time. If you get a loan facility of maybe 2 billion to produce a movie, is the market large enough for you to recoup your money? Just like Hollywood, where they shoot for $25 billion, and at the end of the day, they make so much profit. Is that market in Nigeria right now?
Yeah,
Yes.
It is. I think we're getting there. It is. But because from research, we know that the streaming platforms are actually looking for good epic films. And then we'll be shocked that all of our epic films even trend in other countries that are not Africa than our own African country, which means that people love it. Which means that people are willing to see the stories. People are willing to tap into the African culture and tradition. So that way, it shows that they are going to be willing to buy into it, and then you'll be able to get your money.
Do you cross-check notes from other countries?
Of course.
For instance, I know that Kenya are doing good in film. South Africa are doing good in film. Do you go there and study how they do it and bring them back to Nigeria so that we can see a lot of difference in it?
Of course, we have a lot of our production crew who are even working even over there, and then some would always travel to learn more and even come back home, and then use what they have learned to add into the movie. And then for us, we believe so much in collaboration.
Okay.
So we are producers, and then all of that. We worked together with a post-production company as a co-producer to produce this film. Well, Anti Studio, which we know that when it comes to post-production, they would go all out to deliver. They were on Jagun and all of that, and they did it well. And they, you know, on this one too, they performed well, and they are 100% Nigerians. Okay. And they were able to deliver. So we have post-production companies like that in Nigeria also now that are doing extremely well when it comes to post-production.
So what's the plan for Lishabi? Is it going to the cinemas, then afterwards on Netflix?
It's going straight to the streaming platform. Straight to Netflix.
So it's not on the cinema?
No, it's not coming to cinema. It's on Netflix, straight up. Because it's original. It's an original film, which means it's going to be showing in over 192 countries of the world. If it is just a normal film, then you could go to the cinema and just come to Netflix Nigeria, but it's a global film that's going to be showing all over. So
well, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
Our fans would like to know, I mean, a celebrity couple, a powerful celebrity couple for that matter, how do you juggle your profession with the home front? Maybe you
answer that.
The good thing is we are doing the same job. So most of the time, when he's on set and I'm not on set, sometimes he'll just say, babe, come, and I'll go to his location. Sometimes I'll be in the hotel and he'll be on set. And when he's back from set, we'll come back to the hotel. So what we try to do is we try to spend time together because it's very important. So most of the time we are not on the same set, but we know how to do it. Sometimes I go to meet him. If I'm on set, most times what I do is, you know, as a woman, I have to...
You are the manager.
So what I do is I plan my schedule around his. So when he's not working, I try not to take jobs. I try not to take, I don't go on locations when he's not working, so that when he's at home, I am at home most of the time. That's what I do.
So how do you manage other businesses too?
Well, because I'm the one handling the fashion brand, I do it. I'm just always very busy. When I'm not working on set, I'm at the fashion store doing one or two things. And I also manage him.
You should.
Okay, Mr. ADEDIMEJI, social media can be very toxic at times. So how do you manage the trolls?
Trolls are normal. Trolls are normal to come. And then I've come to that realization that, you see, people don't know what you go through. And then they just hide under their keypad and write whatever they can write and feel good on their own. So while they are feeling good, writing whatever they have written, and then you have to read that and then you want to start feeling bad, over what actually? Just let people do what they want to do. Everybody has a right to do whatever they want to do. So it is on you to know that what they say does not define you. What they put out there does not define you, so you don't even pay too much of attention into that. Just do your own thing and stand on the path that you know that is leading you to where you're going.
Okay, Adebipe recently answered Mr. Unwise. The Mr. Unwise that spoke about Lishabi. Was that you that replied him? He spoke about the movie Lishabi, and you said the movie is not even out.
Okay,
Where did you see it?
Yes.
So how do you manage emotions when people talk you down? As a woman, we know that we display a lot of emotions more than the men. How do you manage these emotions?
Well, I'm human, so sometimes I react, but most times I don't react. 95% of the time I don't respond, because you can't respond to everyone. People will turn you to a mad woman. You can't respond to it. And for me, I feel like people have a lot of things to say about me because I'm married to a public figure.
So a public figure yourself?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I think that's why it's much.
Okay.
Because they know me. If he was married to someone they don't know, maybe it won't be this bad. So they'll just come at me. They always have something to say. In fact, sometimes when I don't post him for like 1 week, 2 weeks, you see people coming to my comment section saying, oh, we can't even, someone still said, where's your wedding ring yesterday? I was like, what is this? So a lot of things like that, I go through it since we got married, so I'm used to it. But that one, it was just saying, he's not a serious person. It was talking about things, you've not even seen this movie. The movie is not out yet. It was already saying costumes, talking about a lot of things. And I was like, wait for this movie. We've not even dropped our cast. We just dropped the cast list, I think yesterday or day before yesterday. So.
Okay, many thanks, Mr. LATEEF. ADEDIMEJI, interestingly an alumnus of Olabisi Onabanjo University, same as Charity James.
He's my classmate. Same lecture as well through.
Quite interesting. Thanks for coming. And Mrs. ADEBIMPE OYEBADE ADEDIMEJI. So wish you best of luck with Lishabi. We hope it will become the highest grossing Nigerian movie of all time.
Thank you.
Thank you
and we wish you huge money from all of your investment. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thanks for having us.
And that will be the size of our first segment of this interview segment. When we come back, we'll be having our second segment, and our guests are standing by. See you after this short break.